He went like this. He threw out his thumbs out. I don't know how to do cool things. That's something the cool kids did. I can't believe this is how I find out that everybody on my 10th grade field trip to the Liberty Bell was in the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Let's get into it. What a week. In a Sunday night Truth Social post, Trump wrote that he considered the pardons former President Biden granted to the House January 6 committee, quote, void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because they were signed using an autopen, which was based on a Heritage Foundation report that may not be accurate. Republicans love a job-stealing robot until it's signing a pardon for Liz Cheney. Wrote Trump, in other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. This is just flatly untrue. Joe Biden absolutely knew about them. Does he still know about them? That's a fair question. But not important. Trump was asked about the pardons aboard Air Force One and whether he considered other pardons and executive orders signed via autopen to be legit.
It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void, because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place.
It'll be up to the judge, who I will smear publicly every day until that judge's wife can't walk from her car to jazzercise without her head on a swivel. Oh, you think that joke is sexist? The judge is a lesbian. All right. The doctor, also a lesbian. On Friday, Trump quietly signed a proclamation invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 for the first time since World War II, saying that he would use those wartime powers to quickly deport alleged Venezuelan gang members without a hearing. I don't love that he's learning how to do things quietly. Trump is the potentially rabid bat that's loose in your house. I'm not saying it's good if the bat has a little bell around its neck. I'm just saying it's better. At least you know where the bat is. It raises a lot of questions. Who put the bell there? But it's better than not knowing where the fucking bat is. On Saturday, a federal judge temporarily barred Trump from conducting these deportations and ordered the administration to return any planes that had already taken off. Really the only situation I can think of where the pilot announcing that you're heading back to the airport, and it's an exquisitely good news. But the administration did not do that and instead shared footage on Sunday of immigrants being forced off of airplanes and into a Salvadoran mega prison. But I guess we should have had a clearer message on the economy, so that's on us. Great question, Whoopi and Joy. I'd lower prices more than Joe Biden, that's for sure. Applause breaks out for 10 minutes. Wow. Sonny Huston, I'd be so different. President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, on Monday claimed that the flights didn't need to be turned back because they were already above international waters when the order came through. I'm just going to flag that this opens the door, specifically the plane door, to extrajudicial murder over international waters, a practice so common in previous conflicts and under earlier fascist regimes that it has a name, and that name is death flights. And I would have put a sound effect there, but Lazarus said we were using them, quote, as a crutch. But that won't be a problem anymore because Lazarus is on a death flight. Homan also said this.
We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
In fairness to Tom, deporting people without a hearing is the only way he can come. Also on Monday, the White House shared a video of shackled Venezuelan deportees being forced onto a plane accompanied by the song Closing Time by Semisonic. Yeah.
Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Don't sing along with the fascist propaganda. I haven't seen a great song defiled like this since the last time I went to karaoke and sang Closing Time by Semisonic. Semisonic, in a statement, objected to the video and said they don't condone the song being used in this way, adding, the song is about joy and possibilities and hope, and they have missed the point entirely. And here I thought it was a song about getting laid after the bar closes. A learning moment for us all. So why would the White House post such a video other than as fascist agitprop for internet-poisoned losers sitting in front of sticky keyboards beneath ceremonial displays of strip mall katanas? Press Secretary Jon Lovett, no relation, explains.
Are encouraging illegal immigrants to actively self-deport to maybe save themselves from being in one of these fun videos.
Being in one of these fun videos. In fairness, on Caroline's Letterboxd, she described the movie Room as the perfect date night movie. Weird. It's just weird taste in movies. Get the popcorn. The deported Venezuelan immigrants were allegedly members of the gang Tren de Aragua, but relatives of at least 4 of these men insist they weren't affiliated. Again, we learn the dire importance of keeping an updated LinkedIn profile. Ahead of a hearing Friday, lawyers for 5 of the immigrants say none of them received due process, and several of them were identified as gang members due to common tattoo designs before being sent to a maximum security prison in El Salvador. Head writer Hallie has a huge tattoo that says, and this is real, "Yes and," on the side of her ass. That's right. She has the fucking improv slogan, "Yes and," on her ass. She belongs in a maximum security prison. Way more than those guys. One man had a crown memorializing his late grandmother, while another had a rose tattoo with leaves made of money. We used to have due process. Now our immigration policy amounts to what a white Gen X divorced dad thinks being in a gang means based on old episodes of CSI Miami. Another man was a Venezuelan soccer player who protested against the country's authoritarian president, Nicolas Maduro, last year, and his lawyer said he was allegedly detained and tortured by the Maduro regime before legally seeking asylum in the United States. His lawyer said he was ID'd as a gang member based on a tattoo of a crown over a soccer ball and a soccer media post in which he made devil horns. He went like this. He threw out his thumbs out. I don't know how to do cool things. That's something the cool kids did. I can't believe this is how I find out that everybody on my 10th grade field trip to the Liberty Bell was in the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. It's fucking evil. They kidnap these people. And yet, even as stories of the mistakes being made by the administration make the need for due process even more clear, Trump called for the district judge, James Boasberg, who issued the orders putting a hold on the deportations, to be impeached. Nothing says, "I will comply with court rulings," like demanding that every judge who rules against you be fed into a wood chipper. House Republicans raced to introduce articles of impeachment, making Boasberg at least the 5th federal judge to face a GOP impeachment attempt after ruling against the Trump administration. It's just an intimidation tactic because it still requires 67 votes in the Senate to remove a judge. So it's really just a terrifying waste of time, like a Conjuring movie or asking a guy in a fedora what he's working on. That evidently rattled Chief Justice John Roberts, who on Tuesday issued a rare statement rebuking Trump, saying impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. First they came for the judges, and I realized, fuck, I am a judge. Trump was asked about the statement on Laura Ingraham.
What's your reaction to the courts stepping in to make a statement here? They didn't make a statement when Joe Biden decided to forgive all those student loans.
Well, he didn't mention my name in the statement. I just saw it quickly. He didn't mention my name.
It's true. The Chief Justice could have been talking about any sitting president calling for the impeachment of federal judges. When Ingraham asked whether Trump would defy a court order, Trump did the weave.
Are there circumstances where you would defy a court order?
Well, I think that, number one, nobody's been through more courts than I have. I think nobody knows the courts any better than I have. I would say the Chief Judge does. But nobody knows them better than I have. And what they've done to me, I've had the worst judges. I've had crooked judges.
Nobody understands marriage better than I do. Why, I have more ex-wives than anyone. Some of the worst ex-wives you've ever seen. But at least one Republican is pushing back. Here's Senator Lisa Murkowski on why Republicans have gone silent.
That's why you've got everybody just like zip-lip, not saying a word. Because they're afraid they're going to be taken down, they're going to be primaried, they're going to be given names in the media. You know what? We cannot be cowed into not speaking up.
What's this wee shit? Said Lindsey Graham, rubbing a Trump bobblehead with mineral oil for some reason. This week also brought us an amazing moment from a town hall in Columbus, Nebraska, where Republican Congressman Mike Flood foolishly asked how his constituents wanted to resolve the deficit.
Okay, let's talk about this. So your proposal to solve this is to tax the rich.
Really opened the Mike floodgates. Mike Flood looks like the kind of guy who went out of print around 1998. They stopped making that edition. Was he a floor model? Did somebody find him on eBay? What's happening? Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Hydro. Hey, everybody. I have a Hydro, and I fucking love it.
Nice.
It's great. Like, normally, I like to work out a lot, and...
You like to work out a lot, huh?
I do, John. And I have a bunch of different routines, but there's a lot of mornings where, like, basically I just don't have time to go to the gym or go to a class, or the schedules don't align. It just, the timing doesn't work. And I only have 30 minutes. And then I throw on my gym clothes. I get on my Hydro. I choose a row that fits the time that I have. And it's great. Like, and as an option, by the way, like, if you're someone that likes the treadmill or likes the elliptical, but like is looking for another option, rowing is such a great cardio workout, and also just it works a whole different set of muscles. It feels like you're working your back, you're working your legs. I just highly recommend it. Hydro is my go-to for a killer full body workout. Yeah, see, I'm reading the talking points, but I've already hit them. Seriously, it hits 86% of your muscles, arms, legs, core, you name it, and it only takes 20 minutes. It's like the perfect mix of efficiency and results. Whether you're training for a marathon or just trying to stay in shape, Hydro meets you where you're at. It's low impact, so you don't have to worry about injuries, and combines strength and cardio for a workout that's both tough and rewarding. Couldn't agree more. There's a huge library of rowing workouts led by Olympians and world-class athletes. It's very fun. You can pick what city you're in. It's cool. And the best part, Hydro has a free standard shipping 30-day risk-free trial and 1-year warranty, so you can try it out with zero stress. I'm sticking to the plan and getting a full body workout all from the comfort of my home with Hydro. Head over to hydro.com and use code LOVEIT to save up to $475 on your Hydro Pro rower. That's HYDROW.com, code LOVEIT to save $475. Seriously, I recommend it. Check out the Hydro. Hydro.com, code LOVEIT. Hydro.com, code LOVEIT. Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Planned Parenthood is the most trusted name in sexual and reproductive health and the largest sex educator in the country. Planned Parenthood believes everyone deserves medically accurate, unbiased care so people can make their own informed health decisions. And on top of that, every day Planned Parenthood organizations are fighting for common sense policies that keep personal health care decisions between patient and their doctors, not unqualified lawmakers. Nearly 80% of Americans want that. The attacks on Planned Parenthood, our health care, our basic rights, they just don't stop. But you know what else doesn't stop? Planned Parenthood. The amazing staff and volunteers at nonprofit Planned Parenthood health centers across the country do whatever they can to provide high-quality, affordable care to 2 million annual patients, no matter what the nonsense some people in power try to pull. You can help. Donate to support Planned Parenthood at plannedparenthood.org/protect. That's plannedparenthood.org/protect. If you too would like to go to a GOP town hall and shout at support of democracy, I have some great news. Vote Save America just launched a new push to hold Republicans accountable by connecting you with other voters who want to show up to these town halls or other events Republicans are too afraid to attend in their districts. So go to votesaveamerica.com today, enter your email and zip code, and get connected with state and local organizations near you who want to put these screams to good use. Also, if you are hearing this on Saturday or Sunday, I am in Wisconsin right now. And we're campaigning to elect Susan Crawford to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Yes. And to stop Elon Musk from installing a right-wing judge who will then shift the court into a Republican majority that will put in place a near total ban on abortion, will do gerrymandering, will rig elections. So go to votesaveamerica.com/Wisconsin. Come say hi. I'll be in Madison on Saturday all day. We'll be in Milwaukee on Sunday. Come say hi. All right. Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, the EPA has presented the White House with plans to eliminate its scientific research arm and potentially fire over 1,000 scientists who provide the research on air pollution, hazardous chemicals, and climate change. Looks like we're down to just one experiment, us. Yep. Donald Trump on Thursday signed an executive order dismantling the Department of Education, though it will ultimately take an act of Congress to formally close the department. It's a depressing executive order, but look on the bright side. In a few years, no one will even be able to read it. Democratic Senator Tina Smith fired back at Trump, tweeting, "We know you're just trying to wear us out, but for the record, I am not overwhelmed. My zone isn't flooded." Mine is, said Lindsey Graham, the bobblehead nowhere to be seen. At a party convention on Sunday, a French official asked America for their stuff back. We're going to say to the Americans who have chosen to side with the tyrants, to the Americans who fired researchers for demanding scientific freedom, give us back the Statue of Liberty. First, they took Roman Polanski and the most annoying people from college. And now this? Honestly, if they also take our tired, our poor, our huddled masses yearning to be free, I think they get a deal. The White House spokesperson, Carolyn Leavitt, no relation, issued this response.
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful.
Ooh, sick burn, sick burn. We did save France from the Germans. For years, the United States resisted entering World War II, of course, as Hitler's armies marched across Europe and the Luftwaffe murdered tens of thousands of civilians across Britain to cow Churchill into a capitulation that thankfully never came, even as the America First movement here in the United States, rife with anti-Semites and fascist sympathizers, fought any effort to lend support to our desperate allies, all the while knowingly scoffing at the hysterical notion that the war could ever reach our shores, not unlike how President Trump snapped at Zelensky in the Oval Office a few weeks ago.
During the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
So there's this federal judge. Trump put him on the court in 2020, and if a judge was put on the court by Trump in 2020, he's a real fuck. And he filmed this shocking video as part of a dissent.
When you pull the trigger and fire a round, right when that happens, it automatically will rack the slide back, eject the round, the spent cartridge out of the gun. It will grab a new round out of the magazine, put that round into the chamber, into the barrel, and it'll be ready to fire another round the next time you pull the trigger.
So obviously ridiculous. It's a play for Trump's attention and a spot on the Supreme Court shortlist, while basically making himself an expert in the case and antagonizing his fellow judges who ruled in a different way. In a long list of offenses of the last few weeks, it doesn't really rank high. But of course, it's only interesting and sensational because it's a departure from a tradition of respect and integrity in our judiciary by judges for the process and for each other. He can do this. He can film a little video with guns, a judge issuing a dissent with guns in his hand, because he lives in a system built by people who would never do that. They can threaten the Department of Education because we no longer live in a world where volunteers had to go door to door to find children with disabilities who had never seen the inside of a classroom. Why are they so willing to fire scientists at the EPA? Because it's been a long time since the rivers caught fire. Why are they disbanding panels that help make sure that the government releases accurate economic data, which Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick announced last week? Because whatever their designs on manipulating public perceptions of the economy, these people do not have nearly enough respect for the value of trustworthy, nonpartisan data or fear of a world where people are starving while the government tells us we've never been richer. How can someone like Lutnick, who got rich in finance, take to the cameras to push a single stock from his perch at Commerce like he did on Wednesday when he told Fox viewers to buy Tesla stock?
If you want to learn something on this show tonight, buy Tesla. It's unbelievable that this guy's stock is this cheap. It'll never be this cheap again.
I'll note that it did go down after this. Lutnick was able to build his vast wealth in a society that until just a few years ago had strong laws and norms against brazen public corruption just like that. It's the same reason Republicans can negotiate a funding bill without Democrats while trusting that Democrats are too responsible to allow the government to shut down, because their little teenage political rebellion is made possible by the responsibility and integrity of others past and present. Caroline Leavitt, no relation, gets to stand at that podium and make her snide little joke because people like her lost. Speaking of wait, what happened to the... There's a missing... Where's the Shit. It doesn't, we have to do there's the missing, do you have it? I got it. Guys, calm down. At the 1936 Democratic Convention, FDR gave what is, to me, one of the great political speeches ever given. It's known for Rendezvous with Destiny, but it ends when he talks about people in other lands who sold their heritage of freedom for the illusion of a living. And here we are, 90 years later, it's happening here, and that's what Trump is selling right now. And his wife is not even a lesbian. FDR is rolling over in his grave. He also was rolling while he was alive. But that was forward and back. This is over. You see, you needed that. Otherwise, it's just all so serious. Speaking of Tesla. All right. Thank you, yeah. You're embarrassing me in front of Al Franken. Speaking of Tesla, the company has been forced to recall most Cybertrucks to repair a piece of trim that's prone to flying off in traffic because it's just glued on. It's not a Cybertruck, it's a It's not a Cybertruck, it's a sports glutility vehicle. Coming unglued at dangerously high speed, am I Cybertruck? All right. But where Elon taketh away, Elon giveth. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, the two astronauts who have been on the International Space Station for 9 months, returned safely to Earth on Tuesday on a SpaceX vehicle due to a paperwork, absolutely. Welcome home. Due to a paperwork error upon landing, they were sadly transferred to a Salvadoran mega prison. But their lawyers are hopeful to have them back in the U.S. in the next 9 months, tops. Yeah, that's a good joke. The astronauts were originally supposed to be in space for an 8-day mission, but problems with their Boeing capsule left them stranded for the better part of a year, and that's why you always pack 266 extra pairs of underwear. And finally, startled researchers in New Zealand captured footage of an octopus riding on the head of a shark and nicknamed it Sharktopus. I haven't seen a romance this unnatural since season 3 of White Lotus. Sorry, Lazarus.